We are live with 4 dudes minus 2 in wrestling.
Dropping like flies.
So it's been a week in professional wrestling. As always, it just seems like the week is eventful, like always, no matter what. Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way. Do you believe that Vince McMahon had something to do with Omos and Brock Lesnar, or do you think this is just a big swerve?
It would be pretty funny if Triple H was basically giving Vince just a little bit of a kickback, be like, "Yeah, here, I'll let you have some fun for a little bit."
Because either way, I don't think it's like true, but even if it is, I still don't care because what Triple H is doing, like, there is no way Vince is too smart to come back right now, like full force, as far as doing anything creative, because he should know if he does, the value of WWE is going to plummet because many people are going to stop watching if he comes back. He knows this. At least I hope he knows this.
He's gonna inject poison into his company.
Exactly. Like, you just stay. If this is your only match, which if it's the Brock Lesnar match, I can see Brock saying either you let Vince book this match or I don't wrestle again.
Well, the only reason that this match exists is he's gonna try an F5 almost, right? That's basically the end all to this to
a WrestleMania
match.
moment.
Yeah. He's gonna lift him up somehow. That's a given. It's just, what's he gonna do?
Which is fine.
Suplex City would be. What would be more impressive, him F5ing him or Suplex Citying him?
If he can do more than like one suplex, then that might be a little bit more impressive than the F5.
Or get his leg high enough to just kick him right in the dick.
Yeah. But we'll just have to wait and see. But this week we're talking. I want to bring this up first because I watched this over the weekend, and this actually was a pretty solid pay-per-view. It was called Micro Wrestling: The Rivalry. I discovered these guys on TikTok.
Oh, I thought this was AEW.
You said what?
I thought this was AEW.
No, the Micro Wrestling, but this pay-per-view.
No joke, isn't that Nyla Rose on the right?
No, that's Little Chola.
Okay, it kind of looks like her a little bit.
So like on here, let me see if I can remember a lot of the names. We got Little Cholas is the one you're talking about. The lady with the referee shirt. I think her name is Little Miss.
Yeah.
Zach Presley is the Elvis looking guy. They say he's the son of Elvis Presley. Back in the back with the sunglasses, that's Disco Dom.
I don't think being having a gimmick of being Elvis Presley's child is the way to go, considering his daughter just passed like a month ago.
Yeah, but I mean, he's actually pretty good because who did he have a match with? He had a match with, if you look on the left hand side, the guy above the Michael Jackson guy. Well, in there he's called Micro Jackson.
I like the name,
but above him is a guy named Hot Rod. He's pretty good. And then above
the bald guy, right? The bald guy.
Under the bald guy, the black guy next to the other black.
Yeah. Okay.
That's Hot Rod. But the one above him is Little Show. And his brother is the guy on where it says Micro 2, the guy in the blue.
Okay.
That's Baby Jesus.
Okay, if you wouldn't have pointed that out, I definitely would have thought they looked like they would have been related or somehow.
Mm-hmm. My favorite is the one under Little Chola, so the guy at the bottom with his tongue out. His name is Psycho. Now he's one of the people that I wanted to show you this. So where is it at? All right, I just gotta find the timestamp because it's in the pay-per-view. So I just have to figure out or see what time I put it on. 31:51. Okay. 31:51. And I just want you to listen to the name of the move. Uh, 31. Okay, so I'm just gonna start it here. And then where is it at? Here. Present, share screen, home tab, micro wrestling. Nope, not that. That's the wrong micro wrestling. That was my email. Nobody sent me any emails, all right? There it is.
Incoming spam.
Right? All right, can you see it?
Yes, I can.
All right. So this is Psycho Wrestling Pinky Shortcake and a Baby Mama drama match.
This was the one you were hyped for.
Yeah.
Helicopter spin and what goes up must come down.
Just listen, all right?
I'll tell you what, Pinky Shortcake is one tough diva.
Yes, she is. Oh, and Pinky moving out of the way of the Oompa Loompa splash just in the nick of time. Psycho to his feet. He's got her up and he plants her. Psycho in control and again has her up. Oh my gosh. Setting her up again for the Oompa Loompa splash. 1, 2.
Did you hear the name of the move?
Oompa Loompa splash.
Yep. And I'm just like, when I first saw that, I was dying laughing because I was not expecting. So that is by far my my favorite new move that I've seen of the year. Just because it's unexpected and it's hilarious. But the other one that I wanted to show you is a promo done.
Basically doing the Vader splash.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But the other one that I want to show you is if you look at this picture again next to the guy or above Pinky Shortcake, you see the black guy with the blue headband on?
Yep, the one in the middle.
Yep, that's Jamaica Joe. You can kind of already guess where this Jamaica Joe thing is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
But let me see. So the guy in the ring right now, his name is Flying Ryan. So that's who Jamaica Joe fought, was Flying Ryan. All right, you can see it again.
Mm-hmm.
And my personal favorite, your 6-time Super Bowl champions, the New England Patriots. And listen, I can be back at home right now, back in your playbook with Bill Belichick, not coming here, entertain all you lousy Tennessee losers.
That's where they're based at, is in Tennessee.
But you know what? I'm going to give you a little spoiler. I, Flying Ryan, am going to win my match tonight.
Yo, what's up, baby? It's Jamaican Joe. If you like to party, I guess I'm your guy. I'm the high-flying, always smiling, good timing micro wrestler. Man, the Micro Wrestling Federation is the place to be. Everything's fair. All the guys are legit. The pay's great. I get paid on time. My coworkers, man, they're so cool. Even the ones I don't like. Flying Ryan is an unpleasant dude. But I look for the best.
I like this gimmick for him better than Matt Riddle
that ugly.
Being high.
And he's going to help me make a name for myself on our first pay-per-view.
I was going to say, you could basically splice the audio of him and what's his name from WWE? The one who's suspended right now.
Matt Riddle?
Yep, you could basically splice them two together in the one promo with no video or anything, and I probably wouldn't be able to tell bits and pieces where one ends and one begins.
Right? But it was so hilarious because I'm like, that was spot on. Funny thing is that's not his real hair either. Like he was in a match and like he was in a headlock, and when they went to an Irish whip, the wig came off, and I'm like, that wasn't real. I thought it was real this whole time. But yeah, all in all, I really right. I really do like micro wrestling. Um, you can find them on TikTok with micro wrestling. Just look that up. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to take in as much wrestling as I can, but also different types of wrestling because
Maybe-
I'm. Go ahead.
Maybe concern that Finky doesn't show up on the episode where we start with little person wrestling, so now he's sizest.
Right. He missed out. But maybe I'll bring it up again next week just so he can see some of the stuff. But yeah, so that's micro wrestling. I highly recommend you check them out. They're coming to Michigan quite a few times this year, so I'm going to go try to see them at least once because Psycho is my favorite wrestler from that group. So I want to see him wrestle, and he's on the traveling. So he's on Micro 2. So they have Micro 1. They're the one that stays in Tennessee, and then you have Micro 2, which is the one that travels around the country.
All right.
So I'm excited to see what they have. But let's get to okay, this is NXT. Okay. I was like, what is this? So NXT Roadblock is next week, which I didn't realize. I haven't been watching NXT these past couple of weeks, at least not for
I don't blame you. It's basically I thought it was gonna be like a weekend show, but it turns out when I first heard about it, but nope, it's
this is one of their weekly pay-per-view ones.
Yep.
So first off, we have Dijak versus Tony D. Which
the match basically sounds like an ambulance match, but with a little jail cell, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Where you got to close the cage on them when they're after you beat them up and throw them in there.
So yeah, so this does I think this is going to be a good match because Tony D has really impressed me over the past year plus. And I really love his gimmick because I was wondering if they would ever do like an Italian mafia style gimmick in WWE. Like I don't know if they did one in the past, but
when they had the FBI in, I guess technically.
Yeah, but it's not what like that. Just felt like
it was mostly Little Guido and I feel like one other person, and even then it was Nunzio. I feel like he was paired with somebody though, but
Tony D being the Don of NXT, like I like that. So I think this match is going to be a good match, but I'm also looking forward to.
And Dijak's basically the Terminator. That's pretty much an agreement, right?
I got a feeling Dijak is going to win, but I want Tony D. Like that's my pick is Tony D, but I feel like Dijak is going to win. What about you?
I was going to say Dijak. He's on a roll, and the dude's basically a beast. So I got a feeling he's just going to throw Tony into that cage repeatedly at some point near the end.
Yeah,
maybe just wail on him with a door or something.
I think that this is going to be a relatively good match. Then we have JC Jane versus Gigi Dolan.
Jay-Z's been coming into her own the last couple of weeks, I gotta say, and
yeah, which I think is good because to me she never really had a personality.
She was the weakest link of the when there were three.
Yeah, so she never really had the personality like the other two did, but Gigi Dolan I think for me was just like the total package. Like she could talk, she could wrestle, and she had that personality. So I don't know what I guess this is what JC Jane needed to I guess stand out. But
I guess I feel like NXT has like 100 different women on that roster, so you have to do a lot to stand out on that among everyone else there.
Which it makes them work harder, in my opinion. But I'm picking Gigi Dolan for this match.
I want to say Gigi as well, especially after that promo she kind of gave the other day where she was basically saying that her and her brother basically got their asses kicked growing up, so she kind of made it a point
Yeah.
to make to become a superstar, and I could totally see that, but I don't know. I got a feeling that JC might take it, but Gigi's gonna probably get the last laugh when all's said and done.
Yeah, I can see that.
Roxanne's going over. There's no question about that.
Oh yeah,
She might get her ass kicked during the entirety, but
yeah, because they're gonna book Roxanne, you know, to heaven, to the stars, because
unless she
you
loses,
know,
unless she drops the title for like a hot minute, like Braun Breaker did with Ziggler for how long?
Yeah.
Like 2-3 weeks.
So, but I mean, and Roxanne Perez is definitely the future of NXT. I feel like Miko Satomura at this point in time is primarily a coach.
Yeah,
She's there. She's in NXT to help people, you know, get over, like to become better wrestlers.
Mhm.
And I don't know what they're gonna do with her creative wise, but I think that she'll be an asset because I don't know what she did over at NXT UK because I believe that's where she was before she came to the regular NXT.
yeah, I believe.
Because I didn't watch NXT UK at all.
I didn't either. I just saw like I would if I heard like that was when Walter was down there, right?
Yeah,
If I remember right.
Walter, Rhea Ripley, Tony Storm.
Yeah, pretty much that era was when the only time I would watch, and even then it'd be like a 1 or 2 match card anyway for the most part.
I would just watch highlights. I never really like took the time to actually like watch them. But Roxy or Roxanne Perez, as you know, she is called now, but she used to be called Roxy in the Indies. And it's crazy how last year she started as the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, and this year she started as the NXT Women's Champion. So 2 years apart, 2 championships in 2 different promotions. But Booker, I think Booker T. I think it's good that she is down there with Booker T because Booker T could still train her and give her that insight.
Yeah.
So that's a plus.
What also helps when you put her in a match like that with a probably the most seasoned veteran she's ever been in the ring with. This match is basically she's gonna get roughed up a bit. I gotta feel like throughout it, but she's gonna come out looking like $1 million. And I haven't not been really a fan of Roxanne's her title run. Something just seems off. Like maybe it's just me, but I just feel like she's kind of maybe a little in over her head at times. It feels like, but something like this could easily kind of put her like a little above for me.
Yeah, I can see that. We also have this match: Braun Breaker and the Creed Brothers versus Indashir. This should be interesting.
There's gonna be a lot of bodies getting thrown around in this match.
Yep, everybody's a powerhouse, even Jinder. Like not that much of a powerhouse, but he's still a powerhouse. Compared to what he was when he was with 3MB or something. But
when he was much smaller.
Yeah, and I also like this version of Veer Mahan, not that weird Veer is coming gimmick.
Hey, it only took like what 4 or 5 months of build,
right? Everybody talking about Bray Wyatt or what he's doing, but no, this is hilarious right here.
At least Veer had a payoff. I don't know what's going on with Bray Wyatt's build up.
Yeah,
or if anybody really cares anymore.
I think you gotta trust the process. That's all I can say. People who don't want to trust the process, will get let down. I'm trusting the process.
76.
We'll talk more about Bray once we get to Raw, SmackDown stuff. But as far as this pick go, I don't know. I really do like Indashir minus Jinder. But I also really like the Creed brothers.
Don't you dare hinder the Jinder.
But I mean, Braun Breaker is going to be a star no matter what. So he's going to be I can tell you this: when him and Carmelo Hayes get brought up, I feel like Carmelo Hayes is going to dominate either Raw or SmackDown, and then Jinder Mahal is going to not Jinder, but Braun Breaker is going to dominate whatever brand he's on, and kind of be that face or the kind of stars of those shows. But we'll see.
I already maintain Carmelo's going to be the one to take the title off of Breaker. That's what I'm banking on at this point.
Yeah, same here. And
So,
I think it's going to happen at NXT Takeover. And then if it does happen, I feel like Braun Breaker is going to get a call up because he's already wrestled on the main roster and he's a very solid worker. And I think that the main roster could do with somebody like him.
So Melo will probably get involved in this match, I got a feeling, but I still would probably go with Breaker and the Creed brothers.
Yeah, same.
I've also been behind the Creed brothers as of late.
Creed brothers are so good.
They were doing this for like a year or two, right? They were relatively
because they're like, and this is why I say I love NXT, because I watched religiously even when they were talking about the new brand or whatever. And I remember watching like that first couple of months of the new brand and seeing all of these new people. And then I'm just like, you guys have thoroughly all impressed me, because they went from not being on TV and in storylines and character work and gimmicks and promos and all of that to now almost all of them kind of just being thrust into the limelight. And we've seen a few people go already, but a lot of those people have impressed me. A lot of them. So I'm really excited to see where this crop of people go from NXT. Speaking of which, this next gimmick I didn't think was going to be as good as it was, but Chase U.
It's not even so bad as good way kind of way. It's just like thoroughly entertaining across the board.
Yeah, and I didn't think something like that would be, but this should be an entertaining match though.
Especially what's her face in that group, who's just like screaming at the top of her lungs. And
I think her name is Thea Hale.
Yep. Like I don't know how her voice hasn't been shot by now.
And I think that she had the coolest like way into, this faction or this gimmick, because when she first like showed up in NXT, she literally showed up like weeks before she graduated from high school. And so when she came back to NXT as a wrestler, she was looking for a college to go to. And so she went to Chase U. And I was like, yo, that is genius. So yeah, like I said, if you are not watching NXT, I highly recommend it. But yeah, so this one is another one of those ones where it's like tough. Like, I hope we get some action from Ava, because they took away her last name. She's just Ava now. But The Rock's daughter.
Yeah.
I hope she does, like her and Thea Hale like go at it. But I think this is still going to be, because Joe Gacy also impressed me, because when he first came in, I was like, another cult leader type gimmick. But once he picked up the other two and dropped Parker Bardot, which I thought he was supposed to be the next big thing, but we see what's happening to him now.
In AEW with the dude with all the tattoos.
Yeah, this works for him. And then to have the grizzled young veterans, which I think is also cool, because they've been around for quite a few years already. Because they, like I said, they used to be the grizzled young veterans, and then they became whatever their name is now. I forget. But I don't know if I could really pick either side, because I would like to see either side win. Because I feel like Schism or Joe Gacy is going to win, because I feel like Chase U is over with. I feel like Chase U has run its course. At least in this form.
You think maybe there'll be a heel turn in regards to Chase U?
Maybe, yeah. Yeah. But we'll see. Who knows? I could be wrong. And then next up, why does that look like SpongeBob?
I don't know either.
That's SpongeBob. At least the font and stuff looks like SpongeBob. But I saw something on Twitter where Dragon Lee, the guy that they brought up from AAA at the end of the year, I think that he may come when he starts, maybe in a feud with Grayson Waller and Shawn Michaels. Is like, I can't wrestle, but you can wrestle this guy. So I think that's what may happen for what is it? NXT Takeover, because that's going to be the next big
Show.
yeah, and it's probably going to happen the Saturday of WrestleMania. So that means I'll probably have to watch that one after I get off of work.
WrestleMania weekend's going to be a rough one for me. I can tell you that right now because I'm going to watch both nights, probably at a bar nearby. That's a wrestling bar. And then during the day, I have the Midwest Gaming Classic, which is an old school retro gaming convention.
Okay.
And then if I'm somehow alive that Monday, I got the Milwaukee Brewers home opener. So I'm going to be a wreck on that Tuesday.
Well, get all the rest in that you can.
I will. It's just, am I going to remember any of it is the question.
Right. But I don't really know what to expect from this, but like I said, I think that this is going to be their way of introducing Dragon Lee. Mm-hmm. But before we talk about Revolution, let's talk about some of the shows from this past week. Let's start with AEW because I was kind of in and out tonight because of a new game that came out. That's always how it's going to be. But I did pay attention to certain moments and certain spots, like with the ladder match.
Which game was it this time around?
Oh, the new expansion for Destiny.
Oh.
That's it. But I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, the ladder match. Yeah, yep. the ladder match at AEW where Powerhouse Hobbs won. And I guess that's to face Samoa Joe.
Another reason Finky's probably not here.
But like some of the spots in that match were crazy. Mm-hmm. Like I knew with Sammy Guevara being in that match. Was that Ray Phoenix? Yeah, Ray Phoenix.
That Falcon Arrow that from X and Andretti.
Yep, X and Andretti too.
That was rough.
Like I knew like this was gonna be Spot Fest City, so I paid attention to some of those spots. I still don't really like the feud between Toni Storm and Britt Baker and Paige and Jamie Hayter. It's not me being a hater. It's just since we're talking about it. No, we'll wait.
It's just another wrestling versus entertainment feud, and
that
4 of those going on at once. Jericho's group is literally the personification of that.
Okay, so definitely going to have to bring this up once we talk about it. So I'm gonna save it for later. But I just want to point something out later. But also they had the tag rumble thing.
Yep.
I forget what they call it.
But now they're in the Orange Cassidy and Danhausen are in the
Detroit boy Danhausen. Yes.
Are now in the tag match, the tag title match rather at a Revolution, which doesn't matter. It's gonna be Jeff Jarrett going over.
And I love that Danhausen is so awkward with his wrestling. Like he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, but I know he does. Mm-hmm. Like when he went to throw the Butcher and the Blade over, he's like, "Okay, how am I going to? Oh, okay, I'm gonna get him like it was." I like that. I think that is that's a good gimmick. I didn't know who Danhausen was before he premiered in AEW, but the second I saw him, I was instantly a fan. And then once I knew that he was from Detroit, even bigger fan. And so there's a retro action figure store, like a retro toy store in Royal Oak up here called Nerd Out. And Danhausen has been there 3 times for autograph signings. And each time I've had to work. So one of these days, Danhausen, if you ever see this, I'm gonna find you. And when I do, I'm gonna shake your hand. But
He's gonna.
I love it.
He
He'll put a
indirectly
curse on me.
he put a curse on you. That's why you never been able to meet him.
Right. but I'm happy to see. I want him and you know what? That's getting into the match. But I think
there is another match on this card that was just announced today, so there was no graphic available, but we'll touch upon that one later on.
okay.
And that's one I am looking forward to, actually.
But I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens this Sunday. So let's move on from AEW because pretty much this week was all setting up for Revolution. SmackDown. Of course, the only thing really worth talking about is the Bloodline story because Jay just stood there while Jimmy got Huluva kicked right in his lips, and then didn't take his eyes off of Jimmy. So I don't know where this is going to go. And I keep seeing people say, because we talked about this last week, but I keep seeing people say Sami Zayn should have won. WWE is wrong for doing. Where does the story go with that?
Cody taking the belt off of him.
if Sami Zayn would have won at Elimination Chamber, where does the story go from that? Because all that's going to happen is if he would have won, Roman would have figured out a way to beat the brakes off of him and took those titles back. That would have been bad storytelling. Sometimes.
And then Kevin Owens would have been like, okay, now what the hell do I do? Now the Bloodline's basically over.
Right. So I think people need to realize, which they won't, because everybody has their own opinion and way of doing things. But this is my opinion on what I think people should do. Whether you listen to me or not, don't really care. This is still what I think. This is my opinion. This is what I think. And I could care less what anybody else has to say because it's my opinion. Not going to try to change your mind just like you never change my mind.
Don't like it, make a podcast.
Right. No. But I think that, again, trust the process because I'm a storyteller. So I'm looking at all of this from the lens of a storyteller. I'm not looking at this from the lens of a wrestling fan because, like I said already, if my heart of hearts wanted Sami to win, that as a wrestling fan, that's what I wanted. But as a storyteller, I knew if Sami won, the story, all that would have just been just because WrestleMania is coming up. You can't build something else up in a month. And so I think all of this, where if it leads to Sami and Kevin Owens taking the titles at Mania from the Usos, I think that would be a bigger, like slap to the face. Because if Cody takes the titles from Roman and, Sami and Kevin take the titles from Jimmy and Jay, the bloodline is done.
There's always Solo.
Solo, look, I don't know what Solo. I love me some Solo. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know what he's doing right now. Like, he's just there, which is fine because, like I said, I like me some Solo. But I think that for the purposes of the story, this needed to happen. Like, Sami should not have won. For the purposes of the story, Sami Zayn should have lost that match, and he did.
And furthermore, it would have been Cody Rhodes and Sami in the in the main event at WrestleMania, regardless if it was night 1 or 2.
Roman may have interfered.
Nobody is gonna cheer for Cody Rhodes in that match.
Or nobody. Like I think it would be half and half. To be
I'm
honest,
saying if it was Sammy and Cody, if Sammy would have won the belts, nobody was gonna cheer for Cody in that match.
Oh yeah, for sure. But again, trust the process because we don't know what to expect, and we shouldn't put. And that's the thing with today's day and age, with everybody having their own opinion. Nobody is willing to let a story unfold. They want to tell the story that somebody else is trying to tell. And we see it across MCU. Oh well, I would have done this differently in Ant-Man and Quantumania, or I would have done that differently in Multiverse of Madness. If you just trust the process and enjoy the story, that you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to just enjoy the story and not try to analyze every little piece of it. We live in an age where content creation is like very big, and people want to say, this is what I think should happen. Now, if that's your opinion and you frame it in that work that this is my opinion, and you don't get aggressive, like I said, these are my opinions, but I don't care if you agree with them because I know you have your own opinions. And so, I'm not going to fault you if you don't agree with mine. But we need to, because I said this on Twitter in the argument, we need to be in a space where we can just let this stuff unfold and not try to analyze everything. I think that's one of the biggest reasons I have troubles with AEW is, one, Tony Khan is not a storyteller.
He pretty much admitted that he basically books his wrestlers based on cage match ratings.
And Tony Khan is the kid who just grabs action figures and starts playing with them. He's not the kid who would
and gets
create a story with them and act it out and do all of that stuff. At least I don't think he is, because he just seems like, okay, I think this and this will go together, so let's put them together. Now, I think because I think now more people are involved in creative, and that's why some storylines are picking up. But again, this is just my opinion. I could be totally wrong, but from what I see and what I feel, this is why I'm lost. I feel like there's a disconnect between Tony Khan and his wrestlers and his product, because he has too many wrestlers and two different promotions, and he's trying to run them both by himself.
Yeah, how's that Ring of Honor TV deal supposed to go? Oh wait, it's on Honor Club.
Right. So I may sign up for that just to see what it's about. But if I don't like it, I'm not keeping that subscription. Because
it's basically AEW's roster anyway. So
yeah. So again, this is just my opinion, but that's where I feel lost. I still enjoy AEW, but sometimes I'm just lost because it's like the Guns separated from the Firm. And then last week they were with the Firm, and then again this week they're not with the Firm. What's going on with that? It's a lack of consistency with some of their storylines.
I'm just glad the internet, in its current era, wasn't around when you had way back in the day when you had the Mega Powers and all that.
Yeah,
I can only imagine the bitching you guys would be doing if that were happening then.
Exactly. So I think that's why I just take this time to enjoy what I'm watching, because that's how it was before the internet became we just enjoyed watching wrestling. We didn't try to psychoanalyze everything. We didn't try to put pieces of the puzzle together. We just waited for the next thing to happen. Like I would have loved to see wrestling in the 80s where it was like, oh, they just had pay-per-views once a month, and that's where they would tell their stories. And then, maybe you have a video package, leading up to it or something like that. But it was like at least to my knowledge, there wasn't a like weekly thing where you knew what was going on every single minute of every single day.
I'm a simple man. I don't care about work rate. Just give me a story and you guys beating each other to a bloody pulp in a television studio somewhere in front of like 100 people.
That was bugging me. My hair. But yeah, that's where I stand. But let's get to Raw and AW because we still not AW, but Raw and AW. Bray Wyatt, again, I'm trusting the process because somebody, I don't remember where I saw it, but they did analyze this. So I did appreciate that analysis, but I liked what they were saying with it. And if you look at it from that lens, it totally makes sense. Like, why did Bray Wyatt call out Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar?
Mm-hmm.
Those are Vince's guys. Bray Wyatt has always been about tearing down Vince McMahon's, structure or, how he does things, where how he doesn't fit the mold. And so I think that's why this is going to be an interesting match between Bray Wyatt and Bobby Lashley, because Bray Wyatt is going for that, at least from what he said, and I can agree with that. It's one of those times where I look at somebody else's opinion and go, okay, I see some value in that, which is perfectly fine, and you can do that. Some people can't, but he was essentially saying, like, this is going to be Bray Wyatt's, like, attack on Vince McMahon, because we already saw it with, the Firefly Funhouse, where, he made fun of Vince, and then with a lot of the stuff he did with John Cena and just what he did over the past few years.
He's been really about it.
Yeah, so I think that this could be very interesting, and it also could lead to something where I think this is all drawing out to, and this is pure speculation, I could be wrong, but them still trying to piece together Wyatt 6, Bray Wyatt's new faction that he may have, and they're bringing in people from outside of WWE to be in that faction. And so I think it's just biding time, and then if something does happen between Bobby, this could be a good way to introduce. What better way to introduce the Hurt Lock or the business back together than have Bray Wyatt and the Wyatt 6 attacking Bobby Lashley, and then here comes I almost said Cedric the Entertainer. Cedric Alexander, Shelton Benjamin, and let's say they do get the Street Profits, or they call up Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. I think they would shine in the Hurt business. I really do. But that could be a way to bring back the Hurt business. Even Omos, maybe. But again, I'm trusting the process, because I thought that video was hilarious with do the Muscle Man dance. It's like, okay, and then it just instantly run. I'm like, okay, I like that. I like the mind games. Like, Bray Wyatt is a masterclass with mind games, even affecting the fans, where like he's got many people in there. Like, he's in a lot of, I don't like this. Okay. But once something happens, you're going to be like, oh my God, it's the best thing. No, if you hating on Bray Wyatt now, don't get on the bandwagon when whatever storyline pays off, and then everybody's, cheering for him. And Daniel Bryan was right, man. This internet wrestling community is fickle. That's right. I said it. You're fickle. Like, y'all wanted Bray Wyatt for years. Y'all would not shut the fuck up about Bray Wyatt coming back to whatever promotion. And now that he is back, you guys are like, they're not doing what I wanted Bray Wyatt to do, so I just don't like it. Shut up.
They're happy that
Okay.
he's back, but they're like me. They're happy that he's back as long as he's not wrestling.
Like, and you aren't sitting here hating on him. You're still at least here for the ride. Like, but other people are like, oh no, you suck, blah blah blah. Shut up. I've said it once before, and I'll say it again. Maximum Male Models is gold. I don't care what anybody says, because I need me some Otis. Okay, I need some Otis in my life. That's what I need. I need me some Otis.
The Wrestling Observer newsletter's worst gimmick of the year, if I recall. Maximum Male Models. You guys don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Don't get me started on that bullshit. That's right. I said it. You can call me WWE, you can call me whatever the fuck. I do not give a care, because the fact that AEW took that by a wide ass margin for the majority of their stuff. Yeah. Yes, some of those wins were warranted, but some of those weren't. You can kick rocks, because the fact that, like, let's say some of them was like AEW, like 2,000 votes, everybody else under 1,000. What kind of that's biased voting. Those are people who just want to see WWE fail. And there are more people on the internet, because real fans don't get on the internet to bash other people. We just exist and enjoy what we enjoy.
Pretend I have a newsletter in my hand. Observe this, brother.
Right. Like just get out of here with that. Like, some of that stuff was warranted, like, you know, match of the year with the Briscoes and FTR.
Yeah.
Warranted. Stuff with MJF. Warranted. But to say, like, that Tony Khan is the best booker and the best promoter?
I mean, compared to Triple H and then Dana White and his obsession with Power Slap as of late, there's not really any competition. But
no, here's the thing. Everybody sucks right now. Triple H is doing good, but he's still not perfect. Everybody is, yeah. Everybody needs work. But to say that Tony Khan is the best, he's good, but he for sure ain't the best. I've seen better matches in Warrior Wrestling. I've seen better matches there. I saw better matches at Micro Wrestling. Baby Mama Drama match. The name alone. That's booking. The fact that I have never watched, that was my first Micro Wrestling event. And it was because they had a match on the card called Baby Mama Drama Match. That's booking.
It's like
that's how you get people in there.
Like back in the day, how people loved the WLC match from WWE.
Like that.
And that match was legit great.
Right. Like, that's how I feel right now.
I'm waiting for the day where that screen on your screen.
But let's get into AEW because I just realized it's like almost 10 till.
It's okay. So, we'll speed run it just like they do their storylines.
Right. This match, don't care. Actually, I do. Ruby Soho for the win because she a Michigan girl. Ruby Soho, who you got?
I got Jamie Hayter. I think I could see her. She's always had the title that long. I can't see her dropping it. I mean, I could see her to Ruby,
but she
eventually, but not this time.
Let's be real. She ain't done nothing with that title either.
And Ruby will.
Well, we'll see. But I don't blame Jamie Hayter.
Jade Cargill's title, I feel like, is more legit than anybody.
Yeah, but again, now Tony Khan is getting it right with Jade Cargill. 100%. But okay, so you got Jamie, I got Ruby because she's a Michigan girl. MJF, fuck you, Brian Dent, fuck you. I'm sorry, I love you, but MJF.
There's gonna be some fuckery in the last minute or two.
Ricky Starks,
Jericho looking super slim in that picture,
right? That arm don't even look real. But also, let me point out. The faces look better in these than WWE's because WWE's be weird.
Yeah, they a little overdo the Photoshop, but there's no way that's Jericho's actual head.
Yeah.
It looks like they just took yeah. It looks like they
Yeah.
took oh god, I can't even remember what it's from. I just thought of this too, but they took a screenshot from a certain movie and they just slapped hair on it. It looks like they
Right.
Frankenstein Jericho for that picture.
But I think Ricky Starks should win. But Jericho is really good at putting people over, even if he wins the match.
He's good.
So win or lose, Ricky's getting put over, regardless.
He's good at putting people over, but he's also, as demonstrated by this match, he's also really, really good about injecting himself with whatever's hot at the moment.
Yes, for sure. And that's why Jericho is the greatest current active wrestler right now.
He's also probably the greatest carny in wrestling at the moment.
True. But like nobody has ever been able to change up their gimmick as much as Chris Jericho and it go over without a hitch.
You got
even the Wizard.
Yeah, you got to light up jacket over.
Like even the Wizard was bad, but Jericho still made it work. And he brings it back every once in a while to blow fire in people's faces. Like I love it. So this one, like I want Ricky to win, but even if Jericho wins, Ricky Starks is still getting put over. So to me, it's a win-win. I feel like if you wrestle Jericho, that is a win-win for your career.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're building the Starks to MJF for.
Don't care.
I don't even know how often they have pay-per-views.
Do not care. Is this going to be a good match? Yes. Will Jon Moxley and Adam Page both bleed? Yes. Do not care.
Mox is going to be bleeding while he's walking through the crowd.
Right. Mox he going to come out bleeding. Like I know this is going to be a good match, but the reason that they're feuding is stupid to me.
Mm-hmm. Because he got a concussion.
Right. Like that's Tony.
I wish I still had. I really wish I would have saved it. It got deleted in a heart. And when I backed up my computer, the old punch out graphic I made.
Right. This one. All I'm gonna say is this: Samoa Joe is the voice of King Shark in the new Justice League, Kill the Justice League game. So that's the only place where I'm gonna like Samoa Joe right now, because I've already heard his voice as King Shark and I like it. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I kind of want Wardlow to have the title and have a better run.
I just feel like they cooled down on Wardlow over the last however many months. Ever since he split from MJF, it's like he was like he's not getting the Miro treatment yet, but for a long time it felt like he was.
Yeah. But Wardlow's my pick for this one.
And not only that, but the winner of this match is going to be facing Powerhouse Hobbs, I believe.
That's why I think Wardlow is going to win, because Wardlow and Powerhouse Hobbs still have that feud that they need to finish. So I think that Wardlow is going to win. That's my pick, is Wardlow.
Mm-hmm. Same.
There is speculation that the three on the left, when their contracts are up, could potentially go to WWE. Now, will that happen? Who knows? But Kenny Omega has stated that he is open to wrestling in WWE, and I guarantee you he is going to be just like AJ Styles. I feel like he is going to end his career in the WWE, and I'm going to give you one good reason why I need the Elite in WWE. We need the greatest feud to ever hit professional wrestling and or sports entertainment to happen. We need the Elite versus the New Day. I don't care what anybody says. That needs to happen. We've already seen it at the did you see the video of the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega where they were fighting the New Day in a Street Fighter tournament or competition or something?
I vaguely remember this.
Yeah, so they've already interacted, and it was beautiful. I need that in WWE, because I can already tell you all three of those guys ain't going to AEW. So that's why I want them to move over. But as far as this match goes, I kind of want House of Black to win.
I do too. It was a joke when they put the title on the Elite anyway. I mean, that best of 7 series just left a sour taste in my mouth.
Yeah, like it was dope, but at the same time, it just felt like too much.
Especially
Like it was a lot of good wrestling.
when the news came out about them trademarking like Patrick and all these basketball things like best of 7. It's like they're gonna come back and win, aren't they? And sure enough, everybody predicted it.
I think here's why I'm also okay with the best of 7. It made up for all the missed title defenses while they were suspended.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion, that they would have normally had with people if they were still there. So I feel like that was kind of a way to make up and give them a solid trios run, because they have had a solid trios run. Even if it was just attaining the title, it was pretty solid. So I think that may have been their way of like at least letting us see them as championship material. But I do think I would like to see House of Black win it. If anything, because I want to see some gold on Brody King.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen gold on the other two. I haven't watched Brody King in his indie days, so I don't know. But that's my pick is House of Black.
See Rhea Ripley's man finally get some gold.
Right.
And Alexa's ex. Like Buddy Murphy is like the luckiest man in pro wrestling. Let's just leave it at that.
And then
Jared,
that's why. So Danhausen, Orange Cassidy. That's my pick. Acclaimed. I'm sorry, I love you, but Danhausen is a Detroit boy. I gotta go with the home. Jay, what is up with your face? Did you smell a fart? He did. Whichever gun this is farted. Look at his face. He farted and Jay smelled it. But
he's even got the body tilt, like he's aiming in his direction too.
Right. But now, before we go into our moment of the week,
there's still one more match to talk about.
What's that one?
It wasn't announced. I don't have a graphic for it because it was just announced today. Christian Cage versus Jungle Boy.
Yeah, Jungle Boy.
Yeah. If not for Moxley and Page, I would expect this match to be a beating.
Even with that, I'm going to click on all of these pictures, and I'm going to tell you what they have in common. You ready?
Okay.
AEW versus WWE.
Mm-hmm.
AEW versus WWE. 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 AEW versus WWE versus TNA.
And Global Force Wrestling.
And then AEW versus WWE. I'm just saying. But now I guess we'll have to do the sound. Because Finky does it a lot better. But here we go.
I'll give it my best. I feel like I'm blowing like spit bubbles as I'm trying to do it.
Right. But my moment of the week is not from AEW. It's not from WWE. It's the Oompa Loompa Splash. That is my moment of the week because it was so unexpected to hear that as the name of the move. So that's my moment of the week is the Oompa Loompa Smash. What about yours?
My moment of the week, and I'm kind of losing it as far as like time, so I don't even know if it was technically during this past SmackDown or Raw or whatever, or if it was from the week before. But was it when Kevin Owens was addressing Sammy and like you didn't help me when I was getting beaten down by my family, so I helped you so they wouldn't experience the same thing when doing it to you.
That was last week's.
Okay, so this week, I guess that's good time. I don't know. Oh, I'll say the Lesnar promo with MVP. I thought that was pretty hilarious. Moonshine in his face and is looking all red afterwards.
All right, but another one in the can. Episode 35 of 4 Dudes in Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
We will see you guys next week 4 dudes. Well, 2 dudes